Ooh.
Hi guys, this is Lynn, and I have a co-guest with us today. This is Kate, and Kate's
Hi,
my
guys.
daughter. And not only is she my daughter, because I don't really believe in stepchildren, right? You know that.
Yeah.
Once you're in, you're in.
Yeah.
Yeah. But more than anything, she is my astrological daughter. Yes. Her and I have more planetary alignments together than me and your dad, me and my kids.
Yeah. Our compatibility chart's better.
It's like, it just lights up like a Christmas tree. Isn't that weird? I mean,
It's weird that we have that crazy, like, synastry for, like, a relationship, friendship.
but don't you think it's true when we get together? Like, I was all just totally tired before you came over. Then as soon as you get here, I'm like, oh.
Burst of energy.
I do, because I know I'm going to need a lot of energy when I'm around you. And it's not that you take a lot. It's just I get so excited when you come over.
Energy consuming.
Mm-hmm.
It's all
Yes.
the Scorpio depth.
Uh-huh.
Pisces moon, well of emotion.
She is a fellow Pisces moon. You guys know how rare we are.
That's right.
So what's it been like being a Pisces moon? Now that you're becoming aware of what that means, like does that make sense to you now? Like, oh my gosh, my whole life, or
Yeah, no, definitely. Being a Pisces moon is cool because you're super intuitive, but it's definitely emotionally draining. It would, to
That's
say
a
the
good word.
least.
exhausting.
Emotionally draining.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just zaps a lot of things out of you, but at the same time, it kind of helps give you like that insight that you need too. But
Yeah, it's true. I was thinking about that word draining because everything about Pisces is about water and emotion. So draining would be perfect.
Constant drain.
Now, we wanted to do something different. We're kind of hiding out in the bedroom in the back here because we have all the Aries and crazy people in the other room. So I'm like, let's go hide in the back when she comes over because we always want to talk about our astrology. And so today, this is actually part of our weekly winner. They don't know I'm going to do this. But have you guys ever heard of a time twin? Now, the reason why I'm asking is because this week's contestant is born on, do you want to give the date?
September 27th, 1993.
Yes. And your birthday is?
It's September 29th, 1993.
So we're like 2 days away. And so you would be the only one to know because you're watching this video about you. We're going to go together on.
Hi, time sister.
That's your time sister. So you guys might want to, might be interested to know that if you were born, let's say, in, Queen of the Valley Hospital in West Covina, California or something, this is an example, most babies come in like every 15 minutes, so you could have rising sign changes and stuff, but, you could have a time twin. And when we're looking at her chart, let's just talk about the difference, because the chart's almost identical to yours.
Yes.
Except for...
our moons are not the same. You're an Aquarius moon. I'm a Pisces moon. And then you're a Scorpio rising. But I'm a Sag rising.
Ah.
And that makes a big difference. Big difference. You don't have the emotional drain. You're just an Aquarius. And you're so, like, intellectual and not being constantly drained by other people's emotions. So I think in that way you kind of got the positive aspect on that. My time sister.
Okay, but you know what we really want to talk about? You know what everybody really wants to talk about? I hate to tell you.
Scorp?
We need to get into some Scorp action right now. Some serious Scorp discussion.
All right.
So, Kate is this beautiful Libra sun. And so is our time sister, so you are a Libra sun. So tell us about being a Libra.
Being a Libra makes you super social. You like people, you like interactions, you like communication. You have that side of you that likes to go out and be outgoing. Then you have the Scorpio.
And we're talking about Mars and Scorpio.
And that's a heavy-duty place to have your Scorpio at.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Now, we got into astrology. I got you into astrology as a bonding tool a few years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of just reeled you right in, didn't I?
Mm-hmm.
At first, you thought, oh my God, my kooky stepmother. Huh.
Yeah, but then my Mars and Scorpio realized the occult.
And I just lured you right in. I could feel the scorps going on. But when you first discovered that you were Mars and Scorpio and like what that meant, what was your first thought? Like, did you remember that moment when you realized, wow, this is a big deal?
When you first were explaining it to me, I was like, me? Not me. How could that ever? And then as the year kind of went on, as we learned more about astrology, I was like, oh, me.
Yeah. So you have like this really nice Libra side, and then like for you, you've got Moon in Pisces,
Mm-hmm.
which just makes you look angelic.
Yeah, which kind of makes me come off like sweeter and nicer than maybe like the actual picture. But I mean, like, I am a nice person, just like
Well,
the depths. The depths.
Exactly. So did you start realizing, like, oh my gosh, I am really passionate about things? Like, were you realizing that you did have deep emotion?
I realized that was like a well of emotion that never ended. That's kind of how I like describe like post Scorpio thing. Is you're just like alone in a well that never ends of emotion.
Wow. That's so Piscean moon profound. See, this is why I love her, because her and I, we say that we need to have Pisces moon dates. We actually get together just for Pisces moon moments so that we can go to the depths. But I don't know what it's like to go to the depths of this Mars and Scorpio like that. You know what I mean? Like, oh my gosh, that seems like I'm already so deep. But what's, like, if you could isolate the two, because they're both water, what would be the difference?
Pisces would be like, not as dark, I would say. It's more of like a well of other people's emotions, where a Scorpio, it's like a well of your own emotions. So, I mean, I don't know which is worse, but I would say it's your own emotions because you're actually going through and feeling it firsthand instead of secondhand off people. So I think that's more of the difference.
Wow, that's a powerful point. Because she asked us in the email, you know, she was just saying she's having a hard time figuring all these planets out, because you guys also have Mercury in Libra, which makes you very, like, wanting to please everyone, because you definitely are codependent.
Oh, yeah.
Huge, huh?
Yeah.
Well, I am too, so I was going to say.
Huge codependent, people pleaser, say whatever just to make the peace. But then, I mean, that's just a super big trait of being a Libra anything, is the codependency. Now,
having Mars in Scorpio, do you feel like you're resentful because you're resentful because you're having to please everyone? Like, what would bother you the most? What would make you the most angry or in depth of emotion? Like, what gets you the most upset?
I didn't know we were going there in this video. No, I honestly...
I mean, like, well, I'm just asking, like, do you go, like, I had to say yes, but that really makes me mad inside? Like, do you feel that way, or do you...
Yeah, I think, like, but that is not a driving... I mean, it's irritating, but I think that more, like, if we're talking about, like, being socially accepted between, like, your Libra and your Scorpio, what really pisses me off is, like, not just talking about, like, in relationships, but just in general of, like, feeling rejected by other people and not being able to, like, connect with them, having, like, this wall. Because I feel like that's kind of like what Scorpio creates. Like, you want to, you know how to get to these people, but you just can't. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like this wall of, like, you can only get so close, and then you're like, what am I doing wrong? And you just feel this rejection, but it's kind of your own making.
Isn't she amazing, you guys? Like, you are so profound. I mean, for 19 years old. No, seriously. And I mean... We're looking at your chart, and we're hoping that this is like, we're just looking at some basic things, because I think for a young person, if you could say anything and you're just going through it, I'm looking at the chart. I mean, we were talking earlier about South Node and North Node. So both of you guys have your South Node in Gemini, which makes sense that you're going to be frustrated with superficial relationships.
Mm-hmm.
That's what the whole South Node is about, is kind of realizing that, Gemini kind of is the little chitter chatter, and they keep up on the surface like the butterflies.
Mm-hmm.
But in your South Node, it's all about realizing that there's more to life, there's more depth. So as you cross from your South Node to your North Node, probably about, 30s and on, takes a few years to make that eclipse, that transition.
Mm-hmm.
But your North Node is all about finding some spiritual message and becoming a voice. And she's got that in her second house, so the things that she values. So if you're a Scorpio in the North Node, it hits that second house, Sag, because it's Sag. I'm sorry, Sag in the North Node.
Mm-hmm.
It's hitting her second house, but it's hitting your first house because you're a Sagittarius ascendant.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a few differences here, but I'm just curious, and I hope she comments to see if she sees similarities in you.
Mm-hmm.
And in your mannerisms and stuff. Now
yeah, because I want to know what you look like, because I want to know how close we are.
Yeah, wouldn't that be interesting?
Yeah, I really want to know.
Yeah, well, hope you don't mind. Maybe you could send us a little private picture of you, since you've seen her, and see.
And don't be put off. I really look like crap right now. So be like, what's this girl talking about? I look nothing like that.
Yeah, we're hiding out back here to give you guys this really cool, deep, dark message about Mars and Scorpio. Anything else you want to say? What have you learned about Pluto and Scorpio? You know anything about that? Have you thought about that any?
Yeah, it's a generational one, and it pretty much makes like our whole entire generation have like no boundaries, which is sketchy. Trust me on this one, it's sketchy.
Yeah, how weird, huh?
Yeah.
No boundaries.
And I think that just like, I think for you, and I think for me, but more so you need to watch that, because you're having your ascendant, your Mars, and your Pluto all light up at the same time with that Scorpio. So you need to make sure that you have clear boundaries.
Yeah, that's right, because Saturn is in Scorpio right now.
Mm-hmm.
How is that? Do you feel like it's hitting you anywhere? Like, where, do you have any area that you're feeling like disciplined? Like,
I feel like I started this new job, and I feel like that's like the area, like all this money right now for me is like this discipline that I have to go to work and I have to do this, and it's all money based right now in my story. I'm not feeling it as much as I was feeling the Libra Saturn.
Well, you should have Scorpio in your second house. Do you?
Yes. Scorpio in my second house.
Wait, no.
No, not my second house. I have Scorpio in my 11th and 12th.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. I'm sorry, I was looking at too many things because I'm looking at this chart right here. That's right. So you're having a lot of things lit up with Saturn right now too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he is making you do hard discipline work. Should we tell him where you're working right now? It sounds very Saturn-like.
Yeah. I'm working at a pool store, and I'm a manager in the first month, and I'm just pushing paperwork all day long, and it's really not pleasing the Pisces moon. Very boring.
Right. Well, what about Venus and Virgo? What can you say about that? Do you ever feel like a Virgo? Like
Yes.
You do?
Yeah.
Where does your Virgo come out?
I'm super picky, like, when it comes to, like, being in a relationship. Like, if it's not meeting, like, my standard of how I feel like it should be going, perfect, then I'm like, we really need to have a talk about this.
So then you have to analyze it and dissect it?
Yeah, and, like, I get, like, obsessed about little things. Like, I'm like, why would they do that? And, like, next thing I know, it's been, like, 6 hours, and I'm, like, analyzing all the different scenarios of why.
God. Right.
So I think it, like, kind of maybe rolls over into my Scorpio, too. It's like, I find the nitpicking thing, and then my Scorpio just takes over on obsessing about it.
Wow. Gosh, this life takes a lot of work, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So what do you see? Now, I know it's hard to see for yourself, but, kind of knowing the interests that you have, all the different options you have. What about her? What do you think? I mean, with that moon in Aquarius.
I feel like the moon in Aquarius makes her more maybe intellectually driven than maybe I so much. I think mine's more of a spiritual drive, where hers might take more of an intellectual, maybe even science-y literature.
Like inventing something.
Yeah.
Like inventing my invention.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely more like that. Maybe more creative in that way.
Right.
I think that would be a big difference between us. But honestly, just looking at your chart, it's kind of like looking at myself. It's kind of scary.
Yeah, so we'd love to know what you guys think about this time twin thing. Let's check our time. Okay, we're at 15 minutes, so we hope this was helpful. Hope this was fun. And if you guys would like Kate to come back for some more interpretations, she's really actually quite insightful, especially if she knows you guys' age group and stuff. So,
19, woo!
Woohoo! Yeah, and I'm on her ass all the time, keeping that Mars and Scorpio in check.
That's right.
Right?
Gotta have my mama Virgo.
That's right.
Ground me.
That's right, right? You come home to mama when you need to get your little ass kicked is what you need, right? I know. Okay, guys.
Bye! Bye, Time Twin!
Woohoo! Good job!